Okay, so I am especially excited for today's lesson because some dessert's going to come out of it. So I am really, really pumped. I'm going to show you guys how to make my favorite dessert. It's Nick laughs at me when I say it like all plain, but panna cotta is what it's called. And it's basically like a custard dish. But today the lesson's really going to be in converting that dish. So the idea is to not have a million recipes going on through our brains because it's not reality. The idea is to have like one base recipe and then flavor it up and switch it up and make it fun depending on what you're in the mood for. So I'm going to be showing you how I make it, which is super, super freaking easy, like ridiculously easy. But I want to encourage you guys in the chat, and even if you want to unmute yourself at some point and answer verbally, I know we don't do that often, but we can. I want you guys to try and stump me. I want you guys to try and ask me about desserts, flavor combos, anything pertaining to sweets or cravings and stuff like that throughout my demo. Because I'm going to be, I'm going to have moments where I'm not going to have to do anything and stuff. And I want to come back to this chat and I want to be able to see, ooh, that's a good one, baklava, right to the heart of my people. I love that. Yeah, so in the chat, just start sending, like, if you have any questions or things that you would want me to recreate, send it in the chat and then I'll peek back and forth, okay? So I'm going to make a chai flavored panna cotta because a lot of people have asked me about it. Apparently, you guys love chai. I do too. I feel like chai is so much better than pumpkin spice latte. Like when people are like, what do I replace a pumpkin spice latte with? I'm like, I forget the name of it. I'll send you the link. But there's this like sugar-free pre-made chai tea that's like so good. I don't know if anyone on here, Liz, I think you get it too. The pre-made container one on Nutrition. I don't know why it's slipping my brain right now. I could drink chai all day long and I would not miss a single PSL, honestly. So let's do it. Panna cotta is like a very easy cream custard, like a cream jello custard almost. You'll see I have one that I managed to not like inhale this week so I can show you guys the texture because this takes a little bit to set up. So first thing, in a little saucepan, it's just 2 tablespoons of cold water. It's not going to look like a lot at all. Like I'm not even going to show you with the camera because it looks like there's no water in here. Just very little bit, 2 tablespoons. You're going to take a packet of Knox gelatin or whatever gelatin you use. Gelatin's also really good for hair and skin, hair, skin, nails, stuff like that. So just fun fact, I eat a shit ton of Jello and I like that. And what you're going to do is you're going to sprinkle the gelatin all over like that and just kind of cover it. You can move it around a little bit and just try to get all those dry spots wet so that it all looks the same. Okay, so you're going to let that chill. And what you're going to do is take 2 cups of heavy cream. And in a different saucepan, I'm going to put the 2 tablespoons, 2 cups, the 2 cups of the heavy cream. And then you can use half and half if you want for this. I use Ripple milk. Those of you who are going to be making this dairy-free, you can actually use like a combo of the cream and the coconut milk from a can for the heavy cream. And then you can use Ripple to replace this part. Or you can use half and half, whatever the hell you want, just not as thick as the heavy cream. I like using Ripple because it's got a good amount of protein in it, and it's still pretty creamy, and it doesn't taste plant-based or anything. So I figure I like to eat these when I'm having a low appetite day, and I just need something that has like no texture, but has like a very mild, like exciting flavor. I love keeping these around, and this puts a little bit of extra protein in it. So it's 2 cups of the heavy cream, and then I'm going to do 1 cup of this Ripple milk. It's the unsweetened plain. I'm going to use a confectioner's sweetener. So I'm going to use a half a cup of this. So, oh shit, my measuring cup is still in here. I love, which one? What was I just going to say? Oh, I make my own typically. I bought a bunch of these pre-made bags just because it was easier preparing for the retreat, and I still have a lot of them left. But I honestly, it's like I'll get one big bag of erythritol or monk fruit or whatever. I'm not even really leveling this out. It looks like about a half a cup, honestly. And all you do is you take a regular, like granulated sweetener, and you put it in a food processor or like a NutriBullet or a Ninja or something, and you just pulse it. Like, don't keep it running. It'll make like a weird paste, but just pulse it. Just on, off, on, off, on, off. And it turns to powder. And that's literally the difference between regular granulated sugar and powdered sugar. I learned that in culinary school. And then I was here like spending $8 on a different bag of sweetener. And I'm like, wait, can I just do this with this too? And evidently you can. All right, so in the same pot as the creams, I'm going to use just like a chai syrup. I'm sure you guys can get as fancy and authentic with this as you'd like, but I don't care. So I'm going to go with the easiest route. It's still delicious. I'm just going to put like 3 pumps, 4 pumps. The last batch was a little like mild on the chai. So I'm going to do 4 this time. And that's part of the process too. Like what I did for this is I found a basic panna cotta recipe. I subbed out the sweetener and I added a flavor. You could add any friggin' flavor you want to this and make it any kind of combination that you'd like. So I just mixed that together. We're going to put this on the stovetop until it's just about boiling. Once that gets a little bit warmer, then I'm going to put my pot with the gelatin that's sprinkled over it. I'm going to put that on the stove and just mix it until it's dissolved and just a little bit hot, not like crazy. And then I pour it in. And then that's it. So let's see what this chat says. Just got here. What we making? Chai panna cotta. I'm going to say it 4 different ways throughout this entire Zoom, just so everyone knows. So we got baklava. Okay. So what I would do for baklava, let's see. I kind of want to test out more stuff with the egg white protein that I bought, because you can get really, really thin, crispy kind of stuff with that. So that is something I would try for the flaky phyllo dough, kind of something that's reminiscent of that. I feel like you could probably also use, I don't know if you could get it as thin as, I feel like I would be such a stickler for it being thin. You could recreate the flavors and the textures of baklava, like the filling and everything, really easily. So you just get a basic baklava recipe. To use the recipe for the filling, on Nutrition, there you can actually purchase sugar-free honey, which is crazy. So you can just make that filling and just sub out the sugary stuff that's in it for something sugar-free. What am I thinking of that can give that crunch? Okay, so if I was making it for me, I'd probably try to find, you get some low carb tortillas. All right, now we're thinking. If you get some low carb tortillas and you cut them up into like little strips and you fry them up ahead of time, so they're already thin or whatever, you strain them out on like a wire rack so they don't get greasy. And then you can make a baklava bowl. So I'd probably make some kind of whipped cream, some flavored whipped cream to go with it. Then I would do the nut mixture. I would chop up all the nuts with spices and the sugar-free honey, let that sit overnight so it gets nice and soft. And then I would do a bowl where it would be like the nut mixture, some whipped cream, and then I'd sprinkle the crunchy tortilla chip pieces on top. So this way it gives you kind of all of those, that sense of just like the flavors, the crunchiness, and it's just ridiculously easy because baklava is a very intense dessert to make, believe it or not. Even more intense if you are psychotic like a lot of old Greek ladies and make your own phyllo, because it's that thin, like by just rolling it out. I learned how to make that by hand as a kid. It's crazy. So, okay, yeah, Alexis, I didn't see if you commented down at the bottom, but what you would do is you would take, I should probably check this and make sure it's not like welling over. Hang on. I'm gonna pop my gelatin mixture on here now. So get a little guy like this. I'm just gonna stir my gelatin. Can you guys still see me over here? Okay. So I would take the cream off the top of that after you've refrigerated it, typical coconut cream procedure. And then I would take probably like half of the can worth of coconut milk that's remaining, and I would cook that down and then add it to the coconut cream that you reserved off the top. And I would do enough of that so that you can get kind of a similar texture or consistency as heavy cream. I guess you could actually just cook down coconut milk too, which is probably taking forever because there's a lot of liquid in that to cook off. Okay, so I'm just gonna mix the two. Oh my God, I burned my hand off. Hold on. You guys can't even see me over here acting a fool. Yeah, so I'm just putting in the gelatin mixture now that it's nice and hot and all the powder is dissolved into the cream pot, which is on still. I'm gonna just mix this for a couple of minutes. Turn your heat off and mix it. I should play music during these, but I never think to. And now all I'm going to do is pour this into some ramekins. Oh my God, don't spill. Okay. Nice generous pour. So before I made these, the first time I made them, I had enough to do like obviously like half this amount and do 8 ramekins. So that's supposed to be the serving size, but honestly, I could plow through these. And I didn't feel like getting more ramekins. So here's where we're at. We just have 4 Mondo bowls of chai panna cotta. So some people like to take like a paper towel or something and just kind of like poke at these bubbles here. I am not that obsessive. You could also use plastic wrap, which works pretty well. Actually, let me try that. Because these were kind of annoying last time. It doesn't let it dry as like, or cool as like nice and smooth as I aesthetically like. So let's see. Oh, wow. Okay. So yeah, you can do that if you want. I'm not going to. I changed my mind. But once this cools down, oh, I'm talking like that. Once this cools down and is about room temp, then I'm going to put the plastic wrap on them and stick them in the fridge. They said 4 hours, but to be honest with you, the best texture is probably a day or more. They probably won't last, but I would say keep them in the fridge about a week and then make a new batch or half the batch and just go little by little. It's freaking so good. It smells so good. And I love to put pumpkin pie spice on essentially everything. It's how I tolerate it not being summer currently. So here's the one. You can see kind of the rippedness on the top. This is also because I just didn't cover it like a heathen. So I'm going to do that this time. But if you can see with my ambient lighting here and my one nail that fell off, if you could see the rippliness, that won't dry, that won't turn into, can't talk. That won't happen this time because I'm going to cover them up in plastic and put them in the fridge. Okay, so let me put these in the fridge so I don't knock them all over, which is bound to happen. And then I'll cut into this bad boy and look at the chat. ADD is just a perpetual moving of shit in your fridge. Don't tell OSHA on me. I have meat on the same level as these panna cottas. These shits are hot. I really thought I was gonna be able to do 2 at a time. Woo, my hands are burning. I'm making freaking salmon after this. Oh, this one's the cold one. Okay. I'm making salmon after this. I am freaking pumped. I've been obsessed. My current like hyper fixation meal is the pistachio crusted salmon. Amazing. So, yeah, let's take a look at this panna cotta. See that jiggle? Jiggle, jiggle. It is so good. I can't stop. It's so good. Anyway, what I also want to show you is how I make that whipped cream, because that's super, super easy as well. So always keep your canisters, your whipped cream canisters in the fridge, because it's all about the coldness of the container. That's what helps the whipped cream stay nice and firm. And yeah, keep it in the fridge. So I bought this little guy on Amazon. I don't remember who makes it. I will send the link. I'm actually finally getting my freaking Amazon store set up. Do you guys know how much shit goes into that? Because I didn't. I had to do a video like chat with someone from Amazon today, like holding up my passport to my face, showing different pages and shit. I was like it was really sketch, but I did it. And I'm excited because in 72 hours, I'll have my store set up. So this way I can post a lot of like any of my health stuff, like my food stuff, my fun stuff, like anything that I'm going to be sharing, I will post in there and hopefully be good about sharing a link with you guys, because I'm awful at that. I'm really bad at sharing my affiliate links. I don't know why. ADHD thing. I'm like, just buy it, enjoy it, whatever. I can't find the link, but hopefully not this time. So anyway, take your canister. I already had some of this exact whipped cream in here earlier, so I'm just going to add to it, but yours will be presumably cleaned. Take your heavy cream, and each canister will have different directions on how much you should pour in. This one says about half is ideal, but I don't want to leave that little amount, so I'm not going to listen. But that. Take your syrup. 3 pumps. Where is my little, oh, okay. Take your little, whatever this, the whip it thingy, I don't know what these are called. So take these, put them on there. And you're just gonna turn this. Makes a crazy sound. I like to give it a little more of a shake. I can't stop. I'm always a little worried about the first one because sometimes it's a little crazy, or sometimes it just comes out like liquid. So test it out in something before you put it on your dessert. Okay, so she needs a little time to chill first, but she's getting there. Might be a little watery at first. Jesus, what is happening over here? Let's see. Okay, and there we go. All right, a little bit of a delayed start. We're off. So That is my little chai dessert, and it's so freaking good. Ta-da. Now, like I said, the magic is in the fact that this recipe can be made into a million things. So I got these little, there's so many that came. I got these little flavoring essence thingies. This one I just got off of Nutrition, Capella brand. Apparently, these are really, really well loved. I got the cake batter version because I hear it's a good dupe for cornbread. So I want to try that. My allergies today, all of a sudden, like an hour ago. Anyone else feels like their nose is being ripped off their face from their ears? Like that's how it feels. Whew. So these little flavorings came in a kit. How cute are these little bottles? So tiny. Like there's a ton. They're very hard to handle and move around because they're just so small. Oh my God. But some of these flavors, we got pineapple, which I'm allergic to. I don't know how that works for extracts, so I'm just going to avoid it. Black cherry, pear, which I'm the most excited to try. Blueberry, strawberry, kiwi, grape, raspberry, green apple. Like there's a shit ton here, all fruit flavors. So with these, I would experiment trying I don't want to do all flavor extracts. So for these, I would probably find the same kind of fruit, like in real life fruit, and chop it up really fine and mix it with a blend of a little bit of maybe some OJ, like some orange juice and some water, kind of mash it up. And then if you add that to a panna cotta that's been flavored with any of these, oh my God, so good. So good. And so much more impressive than you would think, so much easier. Okay, let's see this chat. Oh God, my head hurts so bad. Oh, right behind my eyeball. I bought chai almond butter yesterday, put on my pumpkin muffins. That sounds delicious. Sugar-free Jell-O with I love chamoy sugar-free with tahini is my new go-to snack. That sounds delicious. Sometimes I feel like the sugar-free Jell-O affects my blood sugars, and I don't know why. It might have just been a coinkydink, but I've been having a little bit easier time with my blood sugar control since not having sugar-free Jell-O as much. I think it's probably why I'm experimenting with some of this Knox stuff is though, because I love Jell-O so much. Okay. French toast from the retreat. Oh my God. Pancake, pumpkin pie stuffed French toast. So good. And that was an exercise we did where I just threw it together. I just threw it together. That was it. I wrote the recipe up and purposely I wasn't going to make it till the day of the retreat. My lovely coaches got there before I did because I was sick that morning. And when I got in there, they had been starting making it. Apparently it went great. It was easy and they were so good. And I was just throwing together stuff that all sounds about delicious. Like you take the basic process of French toast, you say, what's hormonally unfriendly? Let me replace that with some hormonally friendly version. And then you just make it you add flavors to it that sound really good together. Those recipes are on the CCA page, by the way. Creme brulee. Creme brulee would, oh my God. Okay. So I feel like you could make just a vanilla panna cotta like this. And then you could probably just brulee if you get a little tiny butane torch, you can brulee the sweetener right on top. And that would probably produce the same effect. You helped me figure out gluten-free. Oh my God, we're going to try it here. Punchki. Did I do it right? Punchki. Last Fat Tuesday, but I'm really looking to perfect the texture. Okay, this is good. Tell me about the texture of the real thing, and then tell me the texture of the thing that you made, the variation that we came up with. Because then I could potentially figure that out from chemically, what might be causing that. Creme brulee, so good. Oh, tiramisu, so good. I have a recipe that I did a long time ago in the Pudge page on Facebook. I know it's been a while, so you have to dig, unfortunately, but if you just start searching random desserts on there, we're going to be, once we get through the next couple of months, we're going to be really focusing on revamping that. I am having some recipe cards being made up. We're restructuring all of CCA along with recipes. So we'll have a lot more recipes accessible. But right now they kind of live in the depths of the Pudge page in case you want to peruse. But tiramisu, if I was trying to make that easy, not like a dessert, just like a slop it together kind of thing, I would think, let's see, for the cookie, what could give me that texture? So I feel like you could leave carbonate bread, sounds crazy. You could leave carbonate bread out on the countertop, let it get really dry. I'm actually, my computer's sitting on the bowl of bread that I have doing that, but I've actually left out carbonate raisin bread to try this like Thanksgiving stuffing bread pudding that I want to make. So I found that carbonate bread, when left out on the countertop, dries out to a crouton or like a stuffing type of bread really well. So I would probably do like leave that out. You could probably soak it in something like if you make like an instant decaf coffee with like a syrup like this or something, you could probably brush that on the bread. And then I would do a whipped cream. Maybe I would make 2 whipped creams. I'd make like a coffee version of a whipped cream. And then I would do a regular whipped cream mixed with a little bit of mascarpone cheese. You don't do dairy. There's coconut cream for a lot of this stuff. There's a lot of freaking cans of coconut cream. How do you feel about a tiramisu cupcake to create the same kind of vibe? Or are you like really looking for like that custardy kind of dessert? I'm going to scroll and I will answer. Little tiramisu, salmon's great. Salmon's so freaking good. I'm just looking if there's any more recipes that are similar. Ooh, gluten-free cornbread, send on over. And keto gluten-free cornbread. Okay, so it's lower carb. If you guys ever need help converting a gluten-free recipe, those tend to be kind of high in sugar and carbs. If that's your baby step, if it's not, who gives a shit? But if it is, you can send it to me. I can help you with the same thing. But definitely send me that like low carb gluten-free one. It sounds great. Swerve makes a granulated version that would be good for brulee. Yep, absolutely. I haven't seen how allulose or how monk fruit brulees, but I've been liking the monk fruit erythritol combo granulated sugars before. I don't know. I find that they don't have that same like coldness. And it's a little cheaper than just straight up monk fruit. Okay, so first Mo, to answer your question from before, and then we'll go back to Alexis. So it's basically a powdered donut, but this is a punchki, right? It's basically a powdered jelly donut, but there's also ones that are similar to Bismarck's, so chocolate topped and cream filled. I really wanted it yesterday, but I want it yeasted, but I wanted the fluffiness. So what I'm looking to perfect is that fluffy, airy donut texture. Okay, this is where I think that the egg white bread is going to shine for this. This is why I really want to work on perfecting that as well, because that's what creates the thinness and crispiness if you want it, or the fluffy meringue quality to it. I haven't found a way to not make it so like wet, the dough itself. So I'm still trying to work on that, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm wondering if you use the egg white, like a cloud bread type of base, and filled it up with jelly and then fried it, like if you froze that and then fried that, I wonder how that would work. I don't know if it would be any good, but that's probably what I would try in my next step to try and get that texture. I like to think of like, I like secondary fry something for texture for the purposes that we do, because you want to think about like the first step can be creating the flavor, and then the frying quality kind of fixes the texture of the outside. It kind of firms it up. So and dries it up and like makes it crispier if you leave it longer, you know. So sometimes it's like you want to get the gist of it and then fry it off for texture purposes. I do that with like any kind of gnocchi that I replicate, stuff like that. I love pan frying. So you can try that. Espresso powder on Amazon. Yeah. And they have in decaf espresso powder, they're now having like carrying that in stores more, which is awesome. Okay, I'm into cupcakes. Yeah, so the basics of a tiramisu. So I would get the I believe I wonder if the Duncan Hines keto cake mix has dairy in it. If it does, we'll find a different one. I'm gonna go run and check my pantry because now I'm curious. Hold on. Oh my God, I can't read. Can you read this? I have my contacts in. I can't see. Dairy. So apparently this contains tree nuts, but it does not have anything in it. It says contains anything with dairy. So it's just a Duncan Hines keto mix. And what I would do is I would make the cupcakes, slice the top off of them, keep those in a bowl because I love a crumble on top. So you slice off the top and then you put the top in like a bowl for later. And then you brush the top with like a sweetened kind of espresso powder kind of syrup. You can just get regular syrup and add the granules to it, mix it, put it over the top so it can soak in. And then you can do a like a whipped cream and dust with some cocoa powder. So good. Soak the shit out of the cupcakes though, because that's like the best part of tiramisu is like when it's essentially a sponge. Let's see. I've used carbonate bread dried in the oven to make bread. Oh, and for the crumble part, you just like take like a mesh strainer or something and just kind of go like this over it with the tops of the cupcakes. Crumbles right up. I do that for all my cake crumbs. Carbonate bread dried in the oven to make breadcrumbs. So good. So easy. My guilty pleasure is s'mores. Best way to make that hormone friendly. Yes. I fucking love you too, Alexis. So cute. But s'mores. So they have the gluten-free graham crackers. I find that they're a little bit higher in sugar or, you know, in just carbs in general. So I find like those are kind of a worth it moment if I really didn't have anything else. I'm trying to think what the hell I used. I think honestly, I roasted a marshmallow and put it between two pieces of Lily's. The marshmallow I used was La Nuba, or there's also Max Mara or some shit like that. Nutrition. If you type in sugar-free marshmallows, they have a bunch of different options. I find the La Nuba roasts up the best and toasts up the best, but I just put it between two pieces of Lily's and made a damn mess and enjoyed it. What can I use as a graham cracker though? Because now I'm thinking. I'm wondering if that would be another good egg white recipe. If you just cook it till it's like really crispy. That is a good one though. I'm going to figure that out. Graham crackers. I mean, I've made like graham cracker quote unquote crusts for pies. That's the one that was in the pumpkin pie from the weekend and stuff, but it's not sturdy. It's like a pressed into a dish kind of graham cracker crust. That's why it works, but it doesn't hold together as a cookie. But I feel like I've made one before. I'm going to do some digging through Pudge Page and see. And if not, I'm going to come up with a new one for the season. Lily's chocolate, keto marshmallows. Oh, yeah, there we go. Pamela's gluten-free graham crackers. Yeah, I think that's great. I was thinking of like the Char ones or whatever. Char ones are always, that brand is like, it's good in a pinch, but I find it to be a carb trap for sure. Okay, snickerdoodle cookie as the graham cracker. Oh yeah, you could do that. Yeah, you could totally do that. They're just kind of tiny. So, oh my God, how cute would it be if you did like, I don't know if they make mini sugar-free marshmallows, but if they did, if you roasted a bunch of the sugar-free ones on a skewer and then put it did like little mini s'mores on the small snickerdoodle cookies. High Key is the brand. High Key Snickerdoodle. They make a bunch of different cookies and they're really good. I love them. So cute. It's like a reward. I love it. Cookie sounds perfect. Duncan Hines, by the way, the best sugar-free chocolate chip cookies I've ever seen ever tried in my life. The Duncan Hines keto chocolate chip cookie box mix, they stay soft. I am not a crunchy cookie kind of person. Unless it's like a part of something that I'm eating, I would not just sit there and just keep eating crunchy cookies. I like crunchy salty things, but I don't like crunchy sweet things. So this is not the same box, but I love the Duncan Hines chocolate chip cookies. They are delicious, so easy, and then stay soft. I made them at the retreat, and like I probably had way too many of the cookies I was supposed to leave for you guys, but it was like the perfect before dinner snack. I'm a sucker for them. Apple pie or apple crisp. So pies are a little more difficult. Again, like gluten adds the structure to things. And when you're trying to avoid like a lot of high carb and also gluten, you're taking out like all of the structure causing things. No surprise to anybody. The apple pie, I really liked it when we made it in the same crust as the pumpkin pie. That's also in the retreat recipes on the page. But if you wanted like a flaky, buttery kind of apple pie crust, I'm still trying to perfect that, to be honest with you. I'm like very particular if it's not a graham cracker type of crust. So I'm sure there are new recipes out since I've been trying them. I lost like a year building this house basically. But if you're cool with like a crumbly kind of crust, then the one on the page, the retreat apple pie on the page, so good. So good. The topping for the sweet potato casserole, Juliana's sweet potato casserole, makes a great pie crumble for the top. That was what we used crumbled on top of our apple pie at the retreat. So freaking good. So, okay. I hope that you guys like this. I hope this was fun. I'm excited to hear from you guys. I want to know what you guys come up with flavor wise. I double dog dare you that unless you absolutely despise custards, in which case, great for tuning in and sticking it out. But if you don't, I want you to try this recipe this week. It took like no time at all. So easy, and you can flavor it up however you want. There's tons of these syrups and extracts all over the place. And really, if it freaks you out taking something that has a syrup or an extract in it, we do way less healthy shit every single day. So if something's going to give you a little bit of joy and it's not going to spike your hormones, like I say, c'est la vie. So if you guys need anything, if you have any questions, feel free, text me, text your coach, post in the page. General group chat is up. So is the thermostat chat. So check out those posts on the page and enjoy the rest of your Monday night. All right. Bye.